Joining me now is former Republican presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson, who is a close advisor to Donald Trump. Dr. Carson, thanks very much for being with us. What about this tax write-off and his plan to close the loophole, but he hasn't suggested one. He's suggested, in fact, to expand those loopholes for the real estate industry that would benefit himself.
Well, actually, he doesn't want to expand those. This presents a perfect opportunity to talk about the real problems that exist with our tax system. When I was running, one of the reasons that I advocated a flat tax and removal of all deductions and loopholes is because it does give advantages to certain people, and this is supposed to be a nation with liberty and justice for all. Donald Trump and I have talked about that. He recognizes that, and a new tax plan is necessary in order to get rid of all of these advantages. But what was done was taking advantage of a flawed system. And he admits that. He's not trying to hide that fact. But it is a flawed system, and it needs to be fixed.
Well, he didn't reveal it because it was revealed by the New York Times. He has not disclosed his tax returns as presidential nominees, major party nominees for 40 years have, at least 40 years. Why not have him put out all of his taxes to show what loopholes he's taken advantage of, what his earnings have been, what his deductions have been, full transparency?
Probably for the same reason that Hillary Clinton doesn't want people to know what she told the Wall Street people that were giving her $250,000 for a speech. You know, I suspect there's some things that people don't necessarily want out there because they create a lot of controversy.
Well, we are asking about that, as you just heard, me pressing on that issue. But the point is that she did put out 40 years of tax returns, so she has put all of her income and earnings out there and all of her charitable contributions and everything else for people to see. I want to ask you, as someone uniquely qualified to assess this, the whole issue of PTSD and the veterans, our military community. Donald Trump yesterday stirred some controversy with the way he discussed PTSD. I wanted to play that for you and the response from Vice President Biden.
When you talk about the mental health problems, when people come back from war and combat and they see things that maybe a lot of the folks in this room have seen many times over, and you're strong and you can handle it, but a lot of people can't handle it. And they see horror stories, they see events that you couldn't see in a movie, nobody would believe it. No, we need a mental health help and medical, and it's one of the things that I think is least addressed. We are losing so many great people that can be taken care of if they have proper care.
It points out to the veterans room and says, and you're strong, you can handle it, but a lot of people can't handle it. Where in the hell is he from? I don't think he was trying to be mean. He is just so thorough, completely uninformed.
Dr. Carson, as a physician, the criticism has been from veterans groups in the last 24 hours, as well as the vice president, that by describing these returning soldiers who suffer from PTSD as weak, not strong enough, you're stigmatizing them in a way that is so unhealthy and really hurts their recovery and their ability to function. And that it is exactly what medical professionals have long said should not be done with these military soldiers, military heroes.
Well, you know, in the politically correct atmosphere in which we exist, you're never supposed to say that somebody's weak, particularly in a vulnerable group. And he needs to learn that lesson, I guess, if he's going to function well in the politically correct atmosphere. But basically what he's saying is that people are exposed, a large number of people are exposed to something, but only some of them are affected. It's very much like when you're in an environment where there's a virus going around. Some people have strong immunity, some people have less strong immunity, and some people are affected by it and some people are not. The ones who are affected by it are not inferior individuals by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that their system did not withstand it. That's what he's saying. He just didn't explain it correctly.
Because it does, to many people, to the critics in the community, in the veterans community, suggest that people shouldn't seek help, that it's weak to seek help for these kinds of problems, when in fact it's completely understandable, as you have just expressed as a physician.
Well, he does feel that they should get help, and he feels that the help that they're getting is inadequate. It's woefully inadequate, and we really have to address what's going on with all of our veterans. PTSD is a significant problem. Traumatic brain injuries are significant problems, and we have simply ignored it, and we need to deal with it in a serious manner.
Dr. Ben Carson, thank you so much. I really wanted your perspective on this precisely because you understand it so well. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.